Hello, people of the internet. My name is Full.Gainz, aka Jake, and I am creating this channel, as this is my first video. I am creating this channel in order to help the naturals look not so natty. So before we get into the meat and potatoes of the video, a little bit about myself. I started working out when I was 12, and I am 22 years old now. So if you do the math, that's 10 years. And I have made a lot of fuck-ups along the way. And that is a huge reason why I am starting this channel, to just make sure that you don't have to go through what I went through. Because I went through a lot of bullshit, like Athlean X, and I hate to do it to him, but Ryan Hummingston, if you know these people, you know. And I just want to give solid advice without marketing my shit to you. So here I am. I have trained a few people, a good handful of people, pretty successfully. I have a solid understanding of, exercise, nutrition, stuff like that. And I'm going to hand feed you information so that you can accelerate your workout journey. So what better way to start my channel other than a video about 7 things I wish I knew sooner. So, number 1, track everything. Everything you can possibly track without taking up too much time in your day. You should be tracking it. So what I mean is you should get a workout log, right? And you should be recording your reps and sets and exercises and stuff like that. You should be getting a calorie tracker, so calories in, and if you have a Fitbit, calories out. And you can also, if you have a Fitbit, be tracking your sleep, which is pretty important for me since I have insomnia, or had insomnia. So even if you don't know what these numbers mean, starting to track these things is more about getting in the habit. If you are trying to lose weight, you start by getting on the scale every day. And that way you know, okay, I had friggin' pizza last night. Well, now I'm up a pound, like maybe I shouldn't be having that food anymore. So tracking is super, super important, and I wish I started that earlier. So on to number 2, this is a great segue, your protein intake. Your protein intake is like one of the most important things for building muscle because of protein synthesis. So optimally, you should be getting about 1 gram per pound of body weight per day. So if you weigh 180 pounds, you should be getting 180 grams of protein every day. If you go a little bit over that, that's okay. If you're a little bit under, that's okay. It's semi-debated how much you actually need, but the minimum requirement for FDA is 50 grams, right? So just get as much as you can. If you have too much, the only thing that's going to happen is you're just going to feel gassy. You're not going to die. Obviously, as we all know, protein is extremely important for getting your muscles to grow. Side note, focus on the quality of the protein. Protein from cheese is probably not as good as protein from fish or chicken. So now on to number 3. This one is super important, especially for beginners to learn. And that is the mind-muscle connection. Now, what does that mean? So the mind-muscle connection is, as I like to explain it, if you close your eyes during an exercise and you can do the exercise and visualize what muscle group you're working or what muscles you're working, that usually means you have a good mind-muscle connection. So a mind-muscle connection does not just come like that. It takes time, uh, especially with new exercises. If you have never done a curl before, you are probably going to struggle to have a good mind muscle connection with your biceps. One thing a lot of people struggle with is their lats. They just, you can't see your lats, not even like in the mirror. You can't, it's hard to really develop a connection with them. So, like when you sit down at a machine and you see the little guy or girl doing the exercise and it like highlights their muscle, that's kind of what you should be able to do in terms of visualization. And this is super important for doing exercises correctly. Because if you have a good mind muscle connection with your body, you can sit down and do a new exercise and kind of pick it up really quick. You won't have to struggle with bad form if you have a good mind muscle connection with your body. Number 4, we have volume. Since you should be writing down your workouts in your new workout log, you should be focusing on how much you are doing per week. So, recent studies suggest that 10 to 20 sets per muscle group per week is optimal for hypertrophy. This can vary depending on your strengths and weaknesses and how fast you recover, and also your goals. Like, if you have a really big chest and you have really small shoulders, it might be worth having more volume on your shoulders than on your chest. Like, some people just don't need to work certain muscle groups. For me, unfortunately, it's my glutes. I just have a fat ass. I don't know what to do about it. I have not touched my glutes in years. I had to stop doing squats because like they kept getting too big. But another thing for me is my chest. I have to seriously increase how much I do for chest because it can recover surprisingly quick. I just have a genetically small chest, and that's okay. I just need to focus on it. And I only know that because I track how many sets I do per week on all my muscle groups. So optimally, you can shoot for 15 sets per week per muscle group. This should be a good starting point for you if you're just starting to track your exercises, and if you're writing your own workout plan, or if you're using somebody else's, you can tweak it if you want. This is a really good goal, like a target to shoot for. Okay, so number 5 is very important for recovery. Number 5 is sleep. If you have a Fitbit like me, you can track your sleep and your sleep quality. You don't really need to track your sleep. It's just it's important that you get good sleep and you get enough sleep. Personally, I am an insomniac, or I was an insomniac, meaning I did not get good sleep and I had a lot of trouble falling asleep. Some insomniacs, they wake up and they're awake. I'm not really like that. I just have trouble going to sleep. I need to settle down for longer. And so, growing up as a teenager with no responsibilities, I just I would be up until 3 a.m. I would be smoking weed. I would be vaping. I would be playing video games. I would just not even like just, oh my god, I was up all night some nights, right? And then I would sleep during the day. I was like a freaking night owl, okay? But the problem with that is even if you're getting like 8 or like even 12 hours of sleep, which is too much, there's too much sleep is a thing. If you're getting 8 hours of sleep but you're waking up at like 2 p.m., there is this thing called the circadian rhythm that comes into play, and you basically get a lower quality sleep during the day. Even if you can't see the sun, your body just kind of knows. So it is important to get good sleep during the night, shoot for 8 hours, and if you need, you can take like Melatonin, don't take it too much because you get used to it. And I've heard that magnesium, 1 to 2 hours before you go to sleep, can increase the quality of your sleep. That is where you do the majority of your recovering. Your recovery is based on how well your sleep is. If you get terrible sleep, like I was, all that hard work you did in the gym just goes down the shitter, which is why I would go to the gym and not gain any muscle for so long. Number 6. This one is very important in the gym. This is one that I only recently learned about 1 to 2 years ago. You can hear Jeff Nippard talking about it, or Mike Israetel from Renaissance Periodization. And this is very important. It's highly neglected. It is the eccentric part of the lift. So if you don't know what the eccentric is, basically, if you're doing like a curl, right? If you're doing a dumbbell curl, the concentric is the way up. The eccentric is the way down. And most people focus on the concentric and they'll like throw the weight up and they'll drop it. And they like, it's just like fast, right? And the contracting the muscle is important, but getting a like, they say 3 seconds, but I like to do about 2 second eccentric on the way down is super important. That is apparently where the most muscle is built in the exercise. So if you are benching and you bench up and then you just drop the weight, you're missing out on most of the gains for that exercise. And a lot of people think that lifting weights is all you have to do, but lowering the weights is ironically the most important part. Okay, so number 7. This one is very recent to me, and I wish I knew this like a year ago. And that is alcohol consumption. So for the past few months, I have been on a bulk, and I knew that alcohol was very high in calories, and I just honestly just got into drinking. Like, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I was a chronic drinker. I was drinking every day for a long time. It didn't help that I was working at a liquor store for some time. That's actually where it started. I was getting free liquor. And so when I started my cut very recently, I was taking into account the alcohol because I knew it was very high in calories. And I was managing to fit it into my budget of like 1,800 calories, give or take. What I didn't know was that long-term alcohol use, heavy alcohol use, can actually hinder your gains by up to 35%. So all of you, college bros, going out and partying every night, you should be aware that quitting alcohol is the equivalent of somebody who doesn't drink starting steroids. That is how much more, how many more gains you're gonna get in the gym, just by cutting it down to like once a week. I was boggled. I was mind blown when I learned about that. So that is a very recent thing. And bonus tip I mentioned earlier, nicotine and weed. Weed makes you lazy, and nicotine, they say it increases your testosterone, but it also fucks up your cardiovascular system. So your bonus thing that I wish I knew is you should lay off those if you use them. I got into nicotine in like freshman year. There was vapes everywhere, and it was just so easy to get and so addictive. And I didn't think that it affected me, but it causes your lungs to not be able to uh, take in the same amount of oxygen. It's like up to 20% or something like that. And you know what your muscles need in the gym is oxygen. They need oxygen to, that's how you get your pump. Just if you use those, just make sure it's in moderation. Once a while. If you're focused on getting gains and you want to be big, don't use them. Just cut them out. Get rid of them. Nicotine especially is like you stop doing it for a few days and then you go buy another vape or box of cigarettes and it's like it's terrible. It's horrible. But if I could go back in time and show myself this video, I would be twice the size I am now. And that's as a natural, by the way. I will always be natural. And I want to help anybody who feels the same way about gear uh, get to, the size they want to be. I know it sucks because everybody is on gear now, and whether they tell you or not, it's like social media, everything you scroll is just giant dude after giant dude after giant dude. It's like how could I ever be that big? Well, this is how. These are 7 things, 7.5 things you can do to get there. So I appreciate you guys watching. I hope our paths cross again. Obviously, this being my first video, it's not going to be very polished. But I will make sure to give plenty more tips in the future. So thank you very much and peace.